What if I told you all that there was an X-rated animated film made back in the 1970s, and it was created by a bunch of people who used to work at Disney and Hanna-Barbera? Well, there's a very good chance that your reaction was the same as mine. What the hell? This movie, ladies and gentlemen, is Once Upon a Girl, and it's one of the most interesting pieces of animated content I've ever seen. It's like a dirty version of a Hanna-Barbera cartoon. As you all know, I'm a big fan of the weird and bizarre and even downright bad. And this movie absolutely qualifies in every single category. It's weird, it's bizarre, and it's very bad.
May I not attend the ball too, stepmother dear, if only for a little while?
Don't be a silly ass, Cinderella.
The 1970s were such a radical time for animation. We actually saw X-rated adult animated movies not just appear, but actually perform quite well. Fritz the Cat made money, and other studios and artists were inspired by that. Oh shoot, Ralph and his team can make this stuff? What the hell, let's make our own.
Now, I'm here to see to it that you go to the ball tonight and have a prince. I mean, go to the prince and have a ball.
All right, so let's just address the elephant in the room here. There's a very good chance that YouTube might take this video down. Now, I'm trying to keep it as clean as possible, and I'm gonna censor the heck out of it. See, I use the word heck because I'm a good Christian on this good Christian website called YouTube. But jokes aside, I want to approach this from an educational point of view. I see this movie as an interesting case study when it comes to the history of animation. It came out in an era that was very different. It is the product of its surroundings and its culture, and I don't think we'll ever see a movie quite like this ever again, since things have changed so much since then. That being said, I will probably do a full-on review in the future, but it will be on another site. Take a lucky guess of which one that might be.
Okay, bitch. And just where do you think you're going?
All right, so who made the movie? Like I already said, there were some animators who used to work for Disney who participated on this film. You also have Don Jurwich, a guy who used to work on Josie and the Pussycats, the Flintstones, Scooby-Doo, and a bunch of other cartoon shows. I think he actually worked on the G.I. Joe movie.
Pork chop sandwiches! Oh, shit!
And finally, you have the voice talent of Frank Welker, one of the most legendary voice actors in the industry. That's right, folks. That's Scooby-Doo's voice actor right there. Oh God, gonna ruin your childhood.
What are you doing up that tree?
Can't you see we're studying nature?
The 1970s were such a wild time for animation. People were finally opening up and weren't doing things that were just for kids. Animation in general still carries that stereotype, but we finally got to see a change of pace here in the 1970s. Once again, a lot of that is owed to Fritz the Cat. It really did open the floodgates, as it proved that you could actually make money from a film like this. It's actually kind of funny, because the folks who made Once Upon a Girl took shots at Fritz in their movie poster. They were like, Fritz is for kids, he's a pussycat. Come watch a real dirty movie with us.
What do you think of that, Toots?
I actually went on Amazon and bought this film. Here, I brought the box into my recording booth. Let's see what it has to say. We got, wow, she's very endowed. We got some fairy tale characters, all right. Hilariously filthy, like watching an XXX version of a Hanna-Barbera Saturday morning cartoon. Ooh, I said that in my video too. Let's look at the back. Fun porno for the whole family. Okay, no. We got creepiness on the back. We got this mouse. I'm gonna have to blur this all out. Good Lord. So this movie is actually a bunch of short stories thrown into one film. There are 3 in total, and they are told from the perspective of Mother Goose, who's in court in real life. Okay. According to the prosecutor, she's on trial for corrupting the moral integrity of children with her violent stories. But Mother Goose is like, those weren't the real stories. I'll tell you what really happened.
Now you are the one true Mother Goose.
You f***ing right I am.
Just a forewarning, just letting you all know, this movie includes some really messed up stuff. Like, it's pretty bad. Not surprising considering the context of the film, but it gets really offensive really fast.
Well, I guess I'd better start at the beginning.
The first story is about Jack and the Beanstalk. I'm going off the cuff here. I don't even know how to tell the synopsis of the story. Jack has like a problem where he keeps sucking on the cow and it dries it out, and his mom is like, go sell the cow. Oh, it gets bad, guys. I'm telling you, it gets really bad. He goes and has relations with, and then he gets like this magic in his pants, which takes him to the clouds, and then he gets stuck in. Oh God, how am I gonna do this? How am I gonna talk about this movie? It's too dirty.
She's gonna use the poor boy as a...
All right, next story. By the way, between each story, we cut back to the courthouse and see more shenanigans there. The movie implies that the courtroom is really getting into the story, if you catch my meaning. God, someone hose these people down. The next tale is about Cinderella and her romantic encounter with the prince, and how that all went downhill pretty fast. They definitely took the meta approach here.
I'll show you happily ever after. Cinderella started popping kids out of her belly like biscuits from an oversexed oven until her figure was shot. The prince took to fooling around with the local talent and got crabs. The stepsisters kept complaining. The kids kept crying. Morta nagged and bitched. The prince bitched and itched. And Cinderella grew old before her time. That, kiddies, is what lived happily ever after was really like.
And finally, there's the story of Little Red Robin Hood. It's not Robin. God, I wrote that down. I'm an idiot. Little Red Riding Hood. You know, I might have messed up, but these folks who made the movie really messed up. Because, like, there's no wolf in the story, which, in hindsight, is probably a good thing, considering what it probably would have done to poor Little Red. This is, in my opinion, the darkest of the stories. There's some truly twisted, crazy stuff that happens in here, and again, I'm a holo censor bar, don't worry, I won't say anything bad. I can't. Guys, I can't even say what happens in this. It's so twisted and messed up. Let's just say that Little Red was caught up in some pretty awful stuff that she wasn't even awake for.
Now there be a gullible young wench if ever I seed one.
I told you all, this movie is messed up and has no class. And with that, we have the conclusion of the movie. And what better way to end than with the courthouse being super thirsty and just going at each other?
I never should have told him the true story.
This is usually the part of my video where I talk about the 5 points. But that's gonna be kind of difficult this time around. It's hard to even call Once Upon a Girl an actual movie. Cause like, it is, but it's not. It's a nonsensical porno, and that's it. To crack down on it seems, I don't know, unfair? You know what, whatever, let's just try anyway. First, the story. This movie is not here to tell a good story. It's only here to rip on some old fairy tales and then get some people excited about it, if you know what I mean. Though it reminds me a lot of Shrek and how it like tears into these old fairy tales. The only motivation of the characters is to get laid, which again, when you look at the context of the movie, makes sense. I do have to admit though, there were some moments that I chuckled at, but I don't think they were on purpose. As in, it was so bad, it was kind of good. But it wasn't due to the movie being clever or being good at writing. But it was due to stupidity and not actual good writing. Also, and I'll say it again, this movie gets very, very offensive. It's X-rated, so makes sense, but goddamn, there were some themes that I was not ready for.
Wow, that's what I call a head job.
After that, there's the voice acting. It's not bad. There are actual good voice actors in this movie. I mean, it features one of the best voice actors of all time. The last thing I expected was to hear the guy who voiced Fred and Scooby-Doo say this.
We've got to hand it to you kids. We never would have suspected Wickles as the art swindler.
All I know is that she's a virgin. A lovely, unspoiled, delicate virgin.
Next, there's the dialogue. It's bad. Then there's the editing. So oh my God, I can't believe I'm actually talking about a dirty, animated, X-rated movie in a review. I'm not even going on script here. This is, oh my God. How has it come down to this? I started with talking about like Cartoon Network and then bad films and then furry films. And now I'm talking about a film for adults to do stuff with. Oh my God. Is this the sum of my existence here on YouTube? Is this really my life? Is this reality?
I will put a spell on him with a magic potion, and I'll get the potion from the Wicked Witch of the Wang.
And finally, there's the animation. I can only imagine that there were people who watched this back in the day who were like, oh my God, that's amazing. Oh, this is groundbreaking. I need to buy this film and put it under my mattress forever. There will never be anything that comes close to this ever again. And for the time frame of this movie, I can see where they're coming from. A movie like this was a true rarity. I mean, if your taste for this kind of stuff is in this direction, then I could see why you're pretty excited about it. That all being said, from a quality point of view, I just see the animation in this movie as a slightly better version of a Hanna-Barbera cartoon. It looks super low budget, and I just think there's nothing outstanding about it. You're better off just watching Daphne. I didn't mean it like that. I meant actually watching Scooby-Doo, or you can watch Daphne. Oh God.
Oh no!
So how would I improve the film? I wouldn't touch it. There's nothing really to improve here. It's just a glorified shitpost as far as I'm concerned. If there was something of merit here to work with, I'd say, okay, let's try that. But there isn't a story being told. There isn't groundbreaking animation being shown. It's just a bunch of people who got together and said, hey, let's f around and make something really funny and for adults. Because it's the 1970s, please pass the cocaine.
A shop, Roy. $100, Roy. $200, Roy. $300, Roy. $999.99, Roy.
So overall, this movie is bad. Which really, again, shouldn't be that surprising. Like I said before, the reason why I wanted to talk about this film is because of the novelty behind it. It's so fascinating how this film came to be. It truly is a product of its time. When I first heard about this film, I was legitimately floored. I was so surprised that this film actually came to be, especially when you see all the folks who worked on it. From a case study point of view about the history of animation, I believe that this film is definitely worth acknowledging and researching. But from a quality point of view, there's not much here. It's just a shitpost. A shitpost from the 1970s, and one that was very much so not for kids. I mean, how often do we get X-rated animated films? Even by today's standards, those are pretty rare. I mean, yeah, there's the internet, and there's like a million things there, but to see it come from an official studio, especially back during 1976, good Lord, is that rare. Hopefully, I'll be able to do a full review of this on some other website. But for what it is, Once Upon a Girl is very bad. And it absolutely sucks. No, not like that. Well, I guess it is like that.
Bullshit!
Keep the advertisers happy. Hey guys, thanks again for watching the video. If you liked it, give it a like. And subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. A big shout out to my patrons on Patreon, and if you want to support me on there, then go check out the link in the description down below. All right, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.